Hey everyone, welcome to Southern Gmoregals, and we're here to celebrate the holidays today. In my video, I have 3 Thanksgiving DIYs that are all made with dollar items. If you're new to my channel, I'm Elizabeth. I want to welcome you here, so let's get started on these simple and budget-friendly DIYs. For my first DIY, I needed something really big to fit my turkey on, and I found this is just some scrap wood that we had left over from a project. It has a little split in the top, but that's okay. It measures from top to bottom, it's 18 inches, and then from left to right, it's 19.5 inches. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint this. So I wanted something fast, so I just used a spray paint. I just used the off-white spray paint and spray painted my board here. And then I found this awesome decal or window cling at Walmart, and this was only 98 cents. And I actually found this one that had some Halloween stuff out. So I've had this for a while. I just needed something really large to put him on. And I had tried some different pieces like that I had from the Dollar Tree and stuff, and I didn't want to put those together. So this big piece of wood that we had out in some scrap wood works great. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some of the Mod Podge. So I pulled the window cling off, and this is the back side. And all I'm going to do is take some of that Mod Podge. You want to get a good amount on here, cover him all over, and then we're going to flip him over. Make sure you've got him good and centered where you want him. And then we're going to go over it on the top. And once you've got him good and centered, you want to take your hands, or if you have a roller or something, to just smooth over top of it to make sure there's no air or bubbles underneath there. And then I'm just taking the Mod Podge again, and I'm going to go over top of here, and you want to use a good amount again. And you can see where it looks white, but that white, when this dries, is going to be clear. So you just don't want any big gobs of it on here, but just smooth your Mod Podge out, put a good amount, especially around the edges, and then that will dry clear. Now the next thing you'll see here, I had a pack of these like puffy kind of decals from the Dollar Tree, and I thought these, like putting some pumpkins and gourds and things down here, would look great, but they didn't match up very good. When I tried to put it on here, it's like it wouldn't adhere good, and I thought, well, that's not going to stick good, and the size didn't really match very good. So next, all I'm doing is taking some of the leaves that were on the same decal that the turkey was on, or the same window cling, and I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just putting the Mod Podge on the back, and then I'm putting it wherever I wanted it on my sign here on my board. I wanted to make kind of like a wreath effect kind of going around the turkey, so I just tried to mix up the different leaves. There's lots of little different shapes. There's a couple little acorns that I put around the top. I put 2 of those at the top. You can't see it where I have my camera here, but there's 2 little acorns I put at the top, and then I just put my leaves to go all the way around my turkey. And here's just a little quick peek at the turkey once I got all the leaves on here. Next, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to darken it, or kind of highlight it a little bit, I guess you could say, with some of the antique Waverly wax. So all I'm going to do is just use a big chunky brush. I'm just going to kind of go around the tops and the sides and the bottom of my board, just to give it maybe a little bit of a rustic look, and try to blend some of those brown tones in from the leaves and the turkey to make them coordinate a little bit better. So here's my final reveal, and this is a nice big size, a nice sign to put out. You know, you could put around your table, or somewhere to decorate for Thanksgiving, and this only cost me 98 cents using the scrap wood that I had. So I think that was an awesome deal. I love the way that it turned out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think if you like this one. And then we're going to move on to DIY number 2. So we're going to celebrate the holidays collab today, and the host is Marie at Bargain Bluebirds. We want to say thank you to Marie. Her information is down in our description box, along with the co-host. And for this collab, she has Creative DIY with Mom Doss is the co-host, and her information is also in our description box, along with the playlist, so check out all the other participants. And for my next DIY, I found this little sign at the Dollar Tree, and all I'm going to do is I took the back out, or I opened it up and took the little sign out, and I'm just going to paint that. I'm using some Waverly, the white paint, white chalk paint. And then I found these little pieces of white foam at the thrift store, and one was 25 cents and one was 30 cents. So I saw this design or something similar to this online that somebody had for sale, so I wanted to make this my own, and I knew I could make it a lot cheaper or at a lot better price. So all I did was, that's my little turkey body there, and then I cut out some of the feathers. And you can see that 4 feathers are the same here, and then the other 5 are around the same. I actually trimmed off those corners where the top ones are a little bit square at the bottom, so I actually went back and trimmed off those corners. And then I'm going to take this ribbon. I found this at the Dollar General. I've used these on some of my other DIYs. I just traced it around the little feathers there that I had, used a glue gun and glued that on. So I have 2 orange feathers and 2 of the gray. And then the other shorter feathers, I'm just using some of the antique wax or the antique Waverly wax. And I want those 5 little short feathers, I want those to be brown. So I painted those brown. For my little turkey body, all I'm going to do is I'm taking some of that antique wax and I'm just going to make like some little stitching lines around his body. So I'm just actually using, I think that's the end of some floral pieces there that I just had the little piece of wire there. And that's what I'm using to paint with to make the little stitches. I'm going to do that all the way around the turkey body. And I used a little both of the E6000 and my glue gun to glue this down. You just don't want to make it real thick with your glue gun. And I just alternated with the little feathers there. I also took that little piece of wire that I was using to do the stitching to make some little feet there for my turkey. Next, I'm taking some of that antique Waverly wax and I'm just going around the frame there a little bit just to darken it down so it will kind of match those feathers a little bit better. And then I'm taking some of the wax. I painted 2 of the beads on top, and then I took the pumpkin shade of orange and the Waverly chalk paint and painted 1 of the beads orange. So he turned out really cute, only cost me $1.30 to make, and I think something similar to this online was selling for about $17, originally over 20 some dollars. So you can make these looks yourself for a much better price. And you can make them your own and unique, the colors that you want to use, and make them. So let's move on to our last DIY. So these are the supplies that I'm using. I'm using 2 of these little signs from the Dollar Tree and 1 of these little round signs from the Dollar Tree. I had this left from the beginning of the summer that I never used, and I'm just using the round part. It actually had a stake on it to put in the ground, and I just pulled that part off. And then I'm using this little turkey. This was like The turkey was like a little wooden napkin holder kind of thing from the Dollar Tree. And I used the other side on one of my DIYs, so I had this side left. So I'm going to be using this one. And I'm actually going to cut this apart here. So I just really want the shape of the head and the body of the turkey. I don't want all those feathers, so I'm using this little razor knife. And all I did was kind of go down here real lightly. And then once I went over it once or twice, I was able to just kind of pop it there and it popped apart. So really easy to cut this thin wood apart. Then I'm using this foam again. I wanted to use some wood, but I couldn't find anything the right size and shape to use for the turkey body. So this is just a piece of that white foam. I just held my little turkey body there, or the little turkey head, up and traced around the back and cut that out. And then I'm going to paint that the dark gray. That's the elephant shade of the Waverly chalk paint. And you can see here, that's the little foam piece behind there. And then the big circle is that piece from the Dollar Tree. So I just hot glued these together. And I had just traced around where the feathers are, and then I went back and painted that. I made some little polka dots or some little lines, make it unique however, you want to decorate that. I really like the gray tones, though, for Thanksgiving. I think they look really pretty, and I just free-handed the letters on here. The stencils I had were not the right size, either too big or too small, so I just did some freehand there. It's not perfect, but I think it looks great. And I just hot glued the turkey onto the back of the give sign, and then I just stacked them on top of each other. You may have to put something behind it just to hold him up there because that sign was a little bit heavy. Really cute look, only cost me a couple bucks. So let me give you one big final reveal here with everything together. So here's everything together. I hope I inspired you to make some budget-friendly DIYs for Thanksgiving. I want to thank everybody for watching my channel today, watching my video. Give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel out. If you're new here, I'd love to have you subscribe. I want to thank all my subscribers. I really appreciate you supporting my channel. Definitely check out the playlist. I want to say thanks to Marie from Bargain Bluebird, and then thanks to Creative DIY at Mama Doss. Their information's down in my description box. Don't forget, on November the 18th, that is the third Thursday, Thrift Flips. So definitely come back and check out my channel. On that day, I'm going to have some great thrift flip items there, so you'll see some budget friendly. Hopefully I'm going to have some Christmas things out by the time I haven't even started on those yet. So hopefully there are going to be some more Christmas thrift flips. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Thanks again.